Hey guys, welcome back to the Chanel. Today, I have another video idea that I never did before. This video is inspired by the Prog Corners video, and today I will tell you guys my 10 comfort albums. Basically albums that I can have in the background without having to analyze them or give them my full attention. Just comfortable albums I've already listened to a lot that I can vibe to if I'm feeling stressed, unwell, or just something familiar and classic playing. So that's what I mean by comfort albums. Basically, albums where I don't have to think too hard. They're fun, they're melodic, I can listen to them pretty easily. They're familiar, and they just make me feel good, no matter how many times I listen to them. And I will get started with Facelift by Alice in Chains, my favorite grunge album. Perfect mix between grunge and alt metal. And I've listened to this album so many times, but I'm still not tired of it. Every song's catchy, and both the singles and deep cuts are amazing. And Lane Staley's vocals are like top tier here. This is before like he got really tired and like drug addicted later on. So in my opinion, this is even better than Dirt. And there's just so many good sludgy riffs and so many good hooks. A very good drumming too, probably the best drumming the band has ever had. And yeah, it just sounds very good. Sounds very comfortable. I don't. I wouldn't be surprised if I grew up in the '90s, if I'd be nostalgic for this album, because it's just a great, comfortable album that I can listen to that just has a very sludgy, dirty, but also melodic sound. And it is grunge, but there's still like a little tiny bit of hair metal left over from when they were a hair metal band in here. It's like only like 5%, but still. You can hear a little bit of it in this album, especially on songs like Put You Down and I Know Something About You. Those songs have the most leftover glam influence on them. The big singles don't have any, but some of the deep cuts just have a little bit in there, just hidden in there. Of course, after this album, there's no like glam DNA whatsoever in Alice in Chains' music. But on this album, there's just a tiny bit. There's just a tiny bit of glam DNA left over, which normally I don't like glam metal, but this time it makes it work. So yeah, definitely a great album for sure. And then for the second album of the video, I have the Yes album by Yes. And this album's very comfortable. Yeah, it's progressive rock. There are a lot of things going on. But since I've listened to it so much, it doesn't even matter. But I'm still not tired of it. I do like all the songs. It's very melodic. And there's a lot of leftover psychedelia on it. A lot of hippie lyrics too. And it just has some top tier keyboard playing, top tier vocals from John Anderson. And it's not too heavy, but it's also not too soft to where you are bored. It's just the right amount. And yeah, definitely a great progressive rock album to listen to in the car, or just while relaxing, or doing homework, or whatever. And then for the third album, I got My Own Prison from Creed. Now, normally, I don't like Creed's other albums, but this album is different. This album has a very unique sound that I do like. I do like the Jarly, Eddie Vedder vocals that Scott Stapp has. And he does them the best on here. A lot of people don't like that vocal style, but me personally, I just can't get enough of it. And that's one reason why I like My Own Prison so much. And another reason would probably be just it just sounds so raw and dirty. Just has a nice atmosphere, similar like Korn's first album or Coal Chamber's first album, or Alice in Chains' third album. Just a very raw, dark atmosphere. And yeah, just a lot of good guitar work. And it's easily one of the best post grunge albums in my opinion. Creed, this is by far your best album. So yeah. Next I got Aqualung from Jethro Tull. And I was kind of on the cusp on putting Stand Up or Songs from the Wood, because those would also be great picks. But I decided to go with Aqualung because this is the first one I listened to from them, and it's the one I've listened to the most probably. I just never get tired of it. The flute playing's top tier. The vocals, they work. They work. They're not even that bad. Some people don't like Ian Anderson's vocals, but I don't really mind them that much. They're just fine. And the riffs are great. A lot of the other experimentation and stuff on this album, like the acoustic guitars, work very well. There's a lot of big singles from the band. So yeah, Aqualung's a very comfortable album for me to listen to. I listened to it a lot at the very start of summer break. So if I ever want to go back to the start of summer break in my own head, then Aqualung's a good album for that. And it's also a good album for like being outside too. So it's also good for that, along with Jethro Tull's other albums. And then next, for the fifth album, I got Machine Head by T Purple. One of the first hard rock albums I ever listened to. And every song on here is a banger. Yet top tier keyboard playing. Great vocals from Ian Gillan. This is my second favorite in rock. But this album is better to have on the background. Or like, just to relax, because it's not as heavy and screechy. And it's still my second favorite from them. And just everything about it's great. Definitely the best, one of the best hard rock albums of this time period. And it's one of the most purest examples of hard rock. It's not grunge, it's not blues rock, it's not metal, it's not heavy psychedelic music, it's not prog, it's not punk, it's not garage rock, it's just hard rock and nothing else. And that just makes the album have a very pure sound and just a very comfortable sound too, especially if you love older hard rock music or just older rock music in general. And then for the sixth album of this list, this one's a little different. It's actually a hip hop album. It's a Tribe Called Quest's The Low End Theory. Yeah, it's a pretty long name. Both the band name and, well, music group name and the album name. And this is just a great mix between jazz and hip hop. It's very relaxing, a lot of good singles. And it just has that old school hip hop charm that I do like. That new hip hop cannot even compete with at all, really, in my opinion. So yeah, probably my favorite hip hop album, and it is very relaxing, and the melodies are really good, and the rapping is clear, not very mumbly. So there's another reason why it's good, and it's just a good time, you know. So yeah, and then for album number 7, I got Black Sabbath's first album. One of the albums I listened to the most in my entire life, but I'm still not tired of because it's one of, if not my favorite album just ever. Because Black Sabbath are my favorite band ever. And this is one of my favorite albums from them. And it's the perfect mix between heavy metal, hard rock, heavy psych, blues rock, and occult rock. And doom metal too. This album is like so many genres, it might as well be its own genre. So yeah, I like every song. The solos are great. The vocals are top tier. And the riffs. It just has very jazzy drumming and bass that I do like too. So yeah, Black Sabbath's first album cannot be matched, in my opinion. And then for number 8, I got Empire by Queensryche. I would have put Operation Mindcrime. I do like that more. But Empire is less complex. It's less deep. So I don't have the urge to pay attention as much. It's just like a fun album to sit back and listen to. Especially since it's more like commercial sounding. And there's like bigger singles. It is a little bloated, but that's okay. Because I normally don't listen to the whole thing all the way through most of the time anyway. Mainly like the first half or second half or middle or whatever. So yeah, Queensryche's Empire is great. Especially if you're on a road trip to somewhere old. Because this album does have a very strong 80s sound to it. Even if it came out in 1990. But still, that's 1990 might as well still have been the 80s. Because the 80s was only over for like a few months, so yeah, still very 80s sounding on this album. And it's just a great album. A great beginner prog metal album. And I like Mindcrime more, but this is more a turn off your brain, just enjoy it album than Mindcrime. And then for number 9, I got In Utero from Nirvana. One of the very first albums I ever listened to all the way through. Probably the second. The only one before would be Nevermind, since Nirvana were the first band I got into. And yeah, I'm still not tired of this album. There's a lot of deep cuts on here compared to Nevermind, but they are very good. It is very abrasive, I will admit, but I still really like it. And the singles do save it from being just like overly abrasive music all the way through. The big singles are good, but I do still like the deep cuts. And yeah, just a great album with a lot of energy and a lot of memorable songs and experimentation. And then for the 10th album, I got Second Winter from Johnny Winter. a blues rock slash electric blues album. And it's definitely one of the best of the genre as well, because there's so many good riffs and solos. And there's still a little bit of psychedelia left on it because it did come out in the late 60s. So you will hear a little bit of psychedelia and hard rock on here as well. And it just has a lot of energy that I do really like. And a lot of the songs are covers, but that's alright with me because the covers are probably better than the original. Especially Slippin' and Slidin' and Johnny B. Good. In my opinion, the covered versions on here are better than the originals. So there's also that too. So if you want old songs reimagined in a better way, in a more bluesy way, and a heavier way, then this album is especially good for that. And I just really like the album cover too. That's like the perfect blues album cover right there. You know, because it looks so smooth, and it's blue as well. So yeah, definitely the essential blues rock slash electric blues album. And yeah, those are my 10 comfort albums. If you like my picks, make sure to tune in for more videos similar to this, and of course, like and subscribe as well. Feel free to comment below your picks. I can't wait to see everyone's lists, and I will see you guys in the next video.